So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the only 3 things you need to know to keep your prayer plants thriving, looking great, and alive. But before I go into that, I'd like to thank everybody that's currently subscribed to my channel, and especially the last few people who subscribed to this channel. I see you, subscriber 65, and the person who left a comment about being the 10th like. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thanks so much for liking those videos. And for those who are new here, my name is Shaya Kurinu. I currently live in Jacksonville, Florida, a Zone 9A area. I would explain that in another video, why that is important. That's why you should subscribe. So thank you so much for subscribing. So to get to this video, a colleague of mine recently bought a few months ago bought a prayer plant. She bought a Maranta, and she reached out to me. She was like, hey, my leaves are browning. What can I do about this? And I thought, that's an idea for a YouTube video. Prayer plants are plants that are in the Calathea, the Maranta, the Thinanthae, the Stomanthae series. They are plants that have, they are categorized by foliage that seem to raise at night. The leaves move from this position to this position, mostly at night, and they are beautiful foliage also. They have like complex patterns on their leaves. So there are 3 factors important, the most crucial factors that you need to think about when you want to keep your prayer plants looking great or thriving, or if you want to keep them alive. And they're humidity, the type of water, and the type of light. And I'll explain. I'm going to start with humidity. You of course know by now that those plants, those house plants we categorize as indoor plants, are generally plants that one, grow in the tropics, and they are known to grow in the inner canopies of the jungle and the bushes, right? So they're naturally they're surrounded by other plants, and somehow that gives them some kind of humidity. In my screen porch, I'm fortunate enough to have a lot more plants, so I create the kind of humidity that is required for some of my prayer plants to do well in. So if you don't have this kind of setup, if you have your plants indoors especially, or during the winter when it's less likely to be humid, you may want to invest in an inexpensive humidifier. I used to use this for some of my plants indoors. This is one that's inexpensive. All you have to do is get a bowl full of water and just dip it in there. It's rechargeable also, so you don't need to buy batteries, or you don't need to attach any cables and cords and everything. I may leave the link to this one in the comment section or in the description of this post. But humidity is something these guys thrive on. In fact, if you don't give them the kind of humidity that they require, what happens is that the tips of the leaves begin to brown, and that's how you know you need to think about humidity for these plants. So type of water. Prayer plants are very sensitive to salts and things like your chloride or bromide and lead and other things like fertilizers. In fact, it shows, because if you give your plant a lot of tap water, which in some places has a lot of chlorine or fluoride, you begin to notice the tip of the leaves start to brown, and that's something that's common with some of my plants, and personally I don't care. I'm just putting that out there. So they're very sensitive to chemical agents and salt. So if you're concerned about how your prayer plant looks, you may want to give them distilled water or rainwater in some cases. That would help them to, situations like that, you don't have the chemical buildup that ends up being at the tip of the leaves. So that's something to consider. So my last point, the type of light that you give your prayer plant. Prayer plants generally love medium to low light. They thrive in those situations, but they're very sensitive to bright light. So if you have a north facing window, they would do well maybe 4 feet away from that window. However, if you have bright, like you have an east facing window, you want to take your prayer plant further inside so that their leaves don't burn. This prayer plant of mine used to be way outside my porch, and I noticed it started burning. That's how I knew that they're really sensitive to light. So these are the 3 tips for keeping your plant alive. Don't forget, it's humidity, type of light, and the type of water. I hope this helped somebody, and if it did help you, I hope you can leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you have more tips for prayer plants, or if you have any tips at all, you can leave that in the comment section below. And if you have anything to say, if you want to give me any feedback, use the comment section. And I encourage you to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would really appreciate that. There's, like I said, there's so much more content that I'm going to be uploading on this channel, and I'm excited about those content. I'm excited about a lot of things that I want to share with you guys that transcends how to take care of individual plants. Some of my bigger lessons in lessons that I've learned while tending house plants and taking care of these plants that are unable to communicate with you and I physically. So thank you so much for watching, and I would see you in the next video.